Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to your reading. So today's reading, we're gonna do a combination of twin flame and inner child. I put out there on my Instagram last week if you were interested in finding out more about what's going on with your inner child, and there were many of you that said yes. So let's get right into the reading. Let's find out how your inner child is doing, what they're experiencing with regards to your twin flame connection. Can we please gain insight into what your inner child is experiencing with regards to your twin flame connection? We have two here. We'll take another one. Okay. So the first one that came out is the Seven of Wands. So what I'm really getting is that your inner child is, you see how they're kind of blocked? Your inner child is not letting just anyone into your life, into your space. Your inner child is feeling like, yeah, they're not letting just anyone in because they don't trust that they're going to be safe if they don't really know, you know, who this person is. So your inner child is somewhat wary of, you know, someone new coming into your life. With regards to your twin flame, I'm also getting the sense that your inner child is not really opening up him or herself to your twin flame. So that is going to cause a lot of conflict in your twin flame connection, because if your inner child is not open to trusting them, is not open to receiving their love, it's going to affect your connection in the sense that you're not going to really be able to feel your twin flame's love. You're not going to really be able to open yourself up to trusting. So this is really indicating that your inner child is having trouble trusting in your twin flame connection. I said inner child, right? Your inner child is having trouble trusting your twin flame connection. And this is understandable because as a child, you experienced disappointment, you experienced getting hurt, you experienced rejection. And so it's understandable that that place inside of us protects us from getting hurt again. And that part that protects us is our inner child. Our inner child is the place where our emotions are stored, where our emotions are felt. So you can see how this is really, I want to say, how it's affecting your twin flame connection. Because if your inner child is not open to trusting, then that is going to show up as an energetic and emotional block in your connection. And the next one that came up was the Strength card. So I'm seeing here that your inner child is trying to show the world that you're strong, that despite the feelings that are within, despite feeling uncertainty, despite feeling fear, your inner child is trying to show that you're strong. And this is the part of us where when our inner child is trying to show up as strong and invincible and nothing can hurt us and nothing can bother us, we show up in our twin flame connection as not being vulnerable. And when we're not vulnerable, we can't really open up and share our innermost self. We're not able to be more playful. We're not able to let our guard down. We're not able to trust openly. Because when our inner child feels fear or uncertainty, the inner child is gonna, in order to protect ourselves, the inner child will try to be like tough, strong, invincible, like nothing can hurt me. So when we show up this way in our twin flame connection, we're not able to really connect on a deeper level because we have our guard up, we have our wall up, of this wall of strength that the inner child is holding up out of, protection. Because our inner child does feel this fear. Our inner child does feel uncertain. And so this is also shows up as a block in the twin flame connection because we have this wall up and we're not able to connect authentically with our twin flame. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. So what I'm really getting here is Knight of Cups to me is like full of passion, full of fiery energy. Fighting for a cause, fighting for what you're passionate about, fighting for love. And what I'm getting with this card is that passion that exists within us is within our inner child. Our inner child is all this like a ball of energy, whether it's joy or anger or sadness or happiness. Our inner child is like this ball of energy. And so when we're not expressing this passion, then it's like our inner child feels unexpressed. So this shows up as, you're so attracted to your twin flame, you're so passionate, so in love, but you can't express it in any way because our inner child is unexpressed. Our inner child doesn't have a way of expressing this passion. Our inner child feels somewhat stifled. So this shows up as we're not able to communicate passionately to our twin flame how we really feel about them. It's there, we feel it. The energy wants to come charging out, but we're unable to express it because our inner child's passion and expression is also stifled. So that is also what is blocking your twin flame connection. And then we have the Star card. So the Star card to me is, not only is it a happily ever after, but it's also a card of healing. It's a card of balance. It's a card of emotions. So what I'm really picking up from this card is I want to say fear of emotions. So when we're triggered, when we feel angry, when we feel like we want to lash out, as soon as we get triggered, our inner child's like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of how I feel because, I don't want to explode. Because again, our inner child is unexpressed. Imagine this ball of anger and woundedness wanting to come out, but can't because we don't know how to do that safely. We don't know how to create a space for that in that moment. We're like, oh my God, these feelings are here and I'm scared. So I'm really picking up that your inner child is somewhat afraid of these overpowering emotions. And they can be harmful, not only to others, but to ourselves. When we feel this rage from being triggered, when that anger, we're like the Incredible Hulk and we can't control that anger, it's scary for our inner child. Our inner child doesn't want to feel that fear of this emotion. So that was the first thing that came up. And the second thing that came up was fear of change. So when we are wanting to be with our twin flame, it's going to cause changes in our life because we're going to be sharing our life with someone significant whom we love. This is a big change for a child. Never mind our inner child. So as much as we want union, our inner child is like scared because things are going to change. And it means if there's someone else that we have to consider in our lives, how are we going to consider our inner child? How are we going to make sure that our inner child is expressed in the world, feels expressed, feels heard, feels safe to express scary emotions? How are we going to make sure our inner child feels safe in the presence of someone else's emotions? How is our inner child going to feel safe and secure and not neglected? How is our inner child going to feel loved when we have to consider our twin flame who's going to be with us all the time? So this is where the inner child is fearing this change. And our inner child tends to put on the brakes and not want to move forward. So your inner child is fearing that they're going to be neglected, that they're not going to feel safe, that they're going to be subject to someone else's emotions. They're afraid of someone else's negative emotions because our inner child's already fearful of our own negative emotions. When we're sharing our life with our twin flame, that's like double whammy, like having to deal with so much emotion. The inner child's like, no. And the inner child will want to run away, which will manifest in your connection as your twin flame running away. So again, this fear of change, of fear of being neglected and abandoned, these are energetic emotional blocks that keep us in separation from our twin flame. So that's how they are feeling. Let's get some more messages from your inner child. What does your inner child want you to know? What does your inner child want you to know? Okay, so these came out. Okay. So, 6 of Cups. This is such a beautiful inner child card. It's a card of children. It's a card of childlike innocence or childlike comfort, feeling like home and cozy and warm and safe. So your inner child is wanting this from you. Your inner child doesn't feel safe. This is understandable with what has been going on in the last year or so in the world. Our inner child tends to shrink and feel fearful. So your inner child is in this constant state of anxiety and fear because we don't know what's going on, health-wise and It can be very scary, even just for a child, never mind our inner child. And our inner child is unable to communicate this to us, because if we have no lines of communication, they're unable to tell us how they feel. Our inner child's unable to tell us that they're scared of what's going on in the world. Our inner child is scared to tell us that they don't want to deal with someone else's anger. So they just want to feel safe. And they want to feel safe with you first, before someone else comes into your life. So this is, you see there's two children here playing, because in my experience, our inner child has to get along with our twin flame's inner child. And a lot of the times there is always a connection. There's a match. When you find yourself enjoying and being playful with your twin flame, and that playfulness is your inner child and their inner child playing, vibing, getting along, playing nicely. So there's always a compatibility, but there's also a dynamic, just like within children. I have to sneeze, but I won't. There is this dynamic of competitiveness. There's a dynamic of jealousy and envy. If our twin flame is really good at something, it triggers our inner child to feel competitive and want to be just as good or better or win at something and beat them. It's just a playful dynamic. It's not anything to be worried about or concerned about, because this is how children are. So it's natural that when you're playing nicely, for sometimes things to get triggered. That's our inner child. When our twin flame is really winning at something or being really good at something, our inner child's like, well, I want recognition and acknowledgement for something. So we have to understand that when we feel like we're envious of our twins, whatever it is, like their talent or something that they're good at, it's just our inner child being triggered. So all we do in any of these cases is we communicate to our inner child, just like we would to a small child who needs to understand something. We explain to them, you know, there's so many other things that we're good at. And we're just as good and we're just as worthy as our twin flame. So when we communicate to our inner child like that, it lessens the trigger, it helps the wound heal, it helps our inner child and our own self, our own brain, understand what's happening. So when you're feeling fearful, it's your inner child that is afraid. And all we have to do is go in and tell our inner child that you're going to be there for them. And even if you take a moment just to feel like you're hugging yourself, and you tell your inner child that you're hugging your inner child, that makes a huge difference. That fear, that energy of fear is going to dissipate instantly. And so that's what your inner child wants you to know, that they're in this fear and anxiety with, you know, possible changes that are going to happen in our lives when we're in union with our twin flame. And all we have to do is go within and explain to our inner child that they're not going to be forgotten, that they're going to still be loved, that you're going to have a playmate, which is your twin flame's inner child, and it's just going to be fun. And when things get difficult and things get scary or emotional or angry, that you're going to be there to help with those feelings. You're going to help your inner child. And that's really what I feel that self-love is when we're reparenting ourselves, when we explain to our inner child what we didn't understand when we were growing up. So that's what they want you to know. And then the next is 3 of Pentacles. And right away when I first saw this card is, so I don't have my little pen, but so when I see these pentacles, I see them as ideas that are floating around you. I want to say that these are your inner child dreams. Things that you wanted to do when you were a child that you didn't get to do, or that you started but through circumstance or through feeling like you weren't good at something, you ended up quitting. So I just didn't want to have lipstick on my teeth. Your inner child is wanting to take those dreams and goals and ideas and bring them into reality. So they're asking if you can do that for them. Because now that you're adults, you can make your childhood ideas come to fruition. There's a show on Netflix called Extraordinary Homes. And my daughter and I were watching it the other day. And a lot of the times, these creative, outlandish, beautiful homes stem from the owner wanting their house to look like this when they were a kid. So it's kind of the same thing. So, you know, I don't know if he was the architect or he must have been the architect. He designed this house of how he pictured it as a kid. So as an adult, he made his inner child dream come true. And guess who's happy? You're happy. So if your inner child, if you liked skateboarding or skating or roller skating or skateboard or rollerblading. There's still rollerblading? I don't even know. What's it now? Boogie boarding? No, is that even it? Penny boarding? I don't do any of that, so I'm not sure what they're called. Anyway, if you wanted to do that as a child and you kind of gave up on it, you can still do that. And guess who's going to be happy? You, because your inner child's happy. So the message that they're giving you is, can you please do the things that we like doing as a child? So again, for me, it was singing. But I always compared myself to not only other like singers or celebrity singers, but to my own family, because I felt everyone in my family could sing but me. So I kind of took myself out, like I gave up, because my dad is an amazing singer. My sisters are amazing singers. My brothers can even sing. They don't, but they can. And my niece can sing. So I'm like, where does that leave me? Because I compared myself. So that's something that my inner child loves doing. And so I can make that possible. And guess who's happy? Me and my inner child. Me. I get to be happy because my inner child is self-expressed, which I think one of the cards was, the unexpressed passion. The unexpressed passion of my inner child wanting to sing has been suppressed my entire life because I kept like saying, I'm not good enough. I can't sing as well as everybody else can. So make those dreams and goals come true for your inner child. And a lot of the times, this is what keeps us in separation from our twin flame, because imagine if I never started singing for my inner child's expression and I'm in union with my twin flame. Am I really going to take the time to sing? I may sing with my twin flame, but I mean, if I'm doing it for her and her alone, then she has more fulfillment. So, you know, your inner child's waiting for his or hers or their dream to come true. Those ideas that you wanted to do. If you wanted to make yourself a go-kart, do that. Whatever it is, I'm trying to come up with ideas, but couldn't think of anything else. So that's the message. And then we have another card, which is Justice. When I see Justice, it's like revenge. From an inner child's perspective, I hear like they want justice. I'm just trying to feel into what this is. Okay, so what I'm getting is your inner child felt like they missed out. And I feel the emotions here. Your inner child felt like they missed out on some things growing up, maybe on a lot of things growing up. And it's like they want justice. So it ties in with, you know, make their dreams come true, give to them what they didn't get. They want justice. They didn't receive attention. They want attention from no one else but you. It's nice to have it from other people, but it's like when we want attention growing up, it feels great when we're acknowledged by our parents or our caregivers. We can want attention from anyone else, but we really want it from our parents. We want their approval. We want their love. We want their attention. So for those of us who felt like we didn't get enough love and attention, your inner child is saying, I want justice. I want this attention that I didn't get. I want this love that I feel I didn't get. So guess whose job that is? It's not our parents' job anymore because we're the adult. It's our job to love our inner child in the way that we wanted to be loved when we were growing up. So for me, it could be taking all those singing lessons that maybe I wanted as a child but didn't get, piano lessons or dance classes that I didn't have. That's how I can give back to my inner child. So just think of all the ways that you didn't get what you wanted as a child and just do it now. Guess who's going to be happy? You and your inner child. And then guess what? When you're happy, because twin flames are mirrors, something will click within them to go within and find their happiness within. And then guess what? You come into alignment, you're a vibrational match, and you come into union. Because of law of attraction, you have to come together because you're matching. You and your inner child are happy, your twin flame and their inner child are happy, boom. It's a match. But when there's so much unresolved feelings within our inner child, there's so many wounds that are festering, then we are a match to our twin flame because they're the same way. But then how can you sustain harmony with all that chaos and emotion and woundedness and triggers happening? There's no way it can be sustained. So boom, separation happens. And then it can be so long where two twin flames are in separation because we're not taught how to come into alignment. I mean, we're not taught how to balance the energies within us, the emotional energies within us, how to become emotionally healthy. You know, it's not out there like, okay, this is how you do it. We have to search and learn how to do that. First, figure out that we have to do that, and then figure out how to do it. So, lots of messages from your inner child, which will help us come into balance. And then we come into balance with our twin flame. So I just want to see where we're at. We're already at, that was already 30 minutes? Man. Okay. I'm going to, let's get a message from your twin flame. And then we'll end the reading because I don't want it to be too long for you. Message from your twin flame. Love messages, please. Messages from your twin flame. What do they want you to know? They don't want you to know anything. Usually the cards come flying out, so there we go. Okay, so let's quickly, okay, Six of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Fool card. Okay, so love messages from your twin flame. Money's a real thing right now, and they're focusing on that. They want to get their finances in order so that they can be with you. In our lives, it's very understandable, but love and money are like the two major things that we're always concerned about. Sometimes we can have all the money and no love. Sometimes we can have so much love and no money. Like, how do we balance the two? How can we have it all? So first of all, the universe says we can have it all. So let's get that straight. The second thing is that when we truly believe that, our twin flame will show up that way as well. Because if we're thinking, love, 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 let's be together, where the heck are you? You're taking so long. You're not making love a priority, and they're making money a priority. You guys aren't on the same page. So really take on that you can have it all. You can have love, money, optimum health, success, everything. And then really believe it, program it into our brain. Because we're mirrors with our twin flame, they'll catch on, they'll catch up, and boom, union, because you're in alignment, you're a vibrational match. So they're focusing on money. It's very understandable with the uncertainty of things going on in the world, the economy, businesses shutting down, people losing money, their career. It's very understandable. So they want you to know it's not that they don't love you, but we can help things along by believing that we can have it all. Because when we believe it, then our mirror, they will mirror the same belief. Knight of Swords. Oh, yes. This message is coming out so powerfully. Every day they want to contact you. Every day. Every day they think about what they're going to say. Every day they take their phone and they're typing in a message, and then all of a sudden they go backspace, 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 erase. Swords is about communication. So every day they're just on the verge of pressing send. And then the universe is like, yeah, it's not time yet. You guys aren't in alignment. So this is their message. They want to talk to you every day, but they don't, because the universe has other plans at this time. That's okay. Because, you know, when we start believing that we can have it all, it's going to show up in their life, and then they're going to be able to reach out and tell you how they feel. The Fool. They want to start this new life with you. They want to have a new adventure. They're tired of what's going on in the world, in their lives, and they want this amazing, amazing life with you. That's why they're working on balancing, on regaining, you know, financially being secure and stable, so that they can have this brand new adventure with you. I mean, adventures can, you know, you don't need to spend a lot of money on having an adventure or an amazing life together. But sometimes, you know, when we're used to the comforts of life, that has to be ×2 when you're in union, or ×10 if you have family, children, or others. So your twin flame does want this new beginning, wants to take a leap of faith, even though it's not showing up yet, even though there's no evidence that they want these things. This is their message to you because they do want it. So I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I really hope that the message about your inner child makes a difference to you and your twin flame connection. So again, thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing these videos, for liking and following me on Instagram, on TikTok. Thank you so much for all your support. And when I read your comments here on YouTube, my heart literally melts. Melts. You guys are so loving and supportive with your comments. They just make my day. So I thank you so much. And it's just nice to know that we're all on this journey together. So please be sure to book your personal twin flame reading with me. I am still taking personal readings now. That may change in the future, but for now I'm still doing readings. And please order to receive your inner child healings. What they do is they're designed to help you release the energetic blocks, the emotional blocks that are keeping us from moving forward. So be sure to order them today, and I would love to support you on your healing journey back to oneness, wholeness, and love. So again, thank you so very much for joining me, and until next time, I'm wishing you all so much love and peace.